just got the first copy of my book.
Prior to entry, and being hosted by Legal Immigration Services.
Hi, how are you? It's Brett Miller here from Neighborhood.
Fantastic service, fantastic.
Always recommend me.
Hey guys, Brennan Miller here. Now, I wanted to do a really quick video and talk about dependent children and basically deal more specifically with children who are over 18. This is actually a very challenging area because there's been a lot of conflicting information over the years with this. So I wanted to kind of dive into this a little bit more and talk about if your child's over 18, can they still be included in your application? All right. So first off, dependent children. Who qualifies as a dependent child? Children qualify as dependents if they are under 22 years of age and don't have a spouse or partner, and if they are financially dependent on their parents, okay? So the child has to be under 22 years of age, be financially dependent on the parents, and not have a spouse or common law partner. Or they're over the age of 22 and they have depended on their parents for financial support since before the age of 22 and can't financially support themselves because of a mental or physical condition. All right, so this concept is important to understand, along with another concept called the lock-in age for a dependent child. All right, so what's a lock-in date or a lock-in age? This is the age that the dependent child is locked in for the immigration application purpose, okay? These can range at different times depending on the type of application, but it basically means in essence that the child's age freezes as per the immigration system. So for instance, in the old live-in caregiver program, I like to use this one because this is something that was really unique to the program. And live-in caregiver, there's a bunch of different types of programs, right? But this one, under the live-in caregiver, the lock-in age for the child was the date in which the person got their initial work permit, not when they filed the PR, okay? Now, for instance, if you're doing an express entry application, the lock-in date, right, is when the application's received and everything's locked in on that date, right? When it's done and it's submitted and fees are paid and there's an application, okay? These range at different times, okay? So it's interesting to know that. So that's an important concept, is the lock-in date. The age a dependent child is locked in as the date of receipt of the principal applicant's complete permanent resident application. So like I was saying with the express entry application, that's the date that, not when you get the ITA, but when you put everything in, you pay the fees and an acknowledgement of receipt. Now, a child who is less than 22 years of age at the time of lock-in continue to be dependent during the processing of the application, okay? So I think we've all got that. Now, not a dependent child. If they're not a dependent child, what can you do? Well, they're going to require a separate application and it can't be included with the primary applicant's application. That's actually a big issue, okay? So, if I don't bring or include my child, can they ever come to Canada? All right? Now, this is important, and this is for somebody who's a dependent. You cannot add your child if IRCC has already processed your PR application and you've landed, okay? This is really, really, really important, and this is covered under Regulation 117.9D. Now, I'm gonna cover that in a separate video, but I do want you to understand that. It's very important if you have a dependent child that actually qualifies under this stuff, and we've just went over the definition. Obviously, if they're under 18 or they're under 22, financially dependent and not married or in a common law relationship, they have to be examined on the application, or they cannot be sponsored in the future under family class. They don't exist. This is really, really important, and that's what 117.9D says, all right? Now, the other risk with that is that, you know, technically that could open you up to a misrepresentation on your application, but I'm not even gonna get into that. So if you have any questions about a dependent child or anything like that, please feel free to ask and reach out prior to doing anything. Now, what's the fix to this? Not much, really. Except the person's going to have to stand on their own 2 feet and they're going to have to file their own application, the child, if they want to be reunited. There can be some challenges with that Because if they're, say, coming as a student, for instance, and they want to come here, well, guess what? What's their reason, or what is pulling them to go home when their whole family's here and they're the only ones? You have to be very careful with this stuff. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to look at your situation on a personalized basis, because quite frankly, IRPA, which is the Immigration Refugee Protection Act, one of the pillars of it is to keep families united and together. And I just think it's sad if the whole family can't be together, because I know how that would feel if I was in that spot too. So I hope that's not you, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we got some really great videos on this channel, and we're going to be putting out a lot more. All right, hope you're well. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care, guys.